What's good, everybody? This episode of the podcast is sponsored by DistroKid. They are the go-to for digital music distribution and the easiest way for musicians to get their music onto Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, TikTok, YouTube, and more. They offer unlimited uploads, and artists keep 100% of their earnings, getting your music onto platforms and into stores 10 to 20 times faster than any other distributor. They help with cover song clearance, automatic splits, and they offer all kinds of tools and templates to help you get the most visibility for your releases. I dig this company and appreciate their business model that offers more features and tools than any other distributor while doing it at the most affordable price for solo artists, bands, DJs, studio artists, and any other creators that are making music or producing music in their home, and they offer label services as well. They've got 3 different tiers that they offer to creators that start as low as $22.99 a year. That's just $1.92 a month. And even their top tier is only $7.50 per month. And the best part about DistroKid sponsoring the podcast is they are offering Dan Cable Presents listeners 30% off their first year of service with DistroKid, making their affordable prices even cheaper for you. I will put that discount link in the episode notes. It will also be in my Instagram bio. Big shout out to DistroKid for sponsoring this podcast for more than 3 years now. Much appreciated. Now let's get into the episode.
Looking down at the corner of the kilometers, I was noticing. And then we'll fall down.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dan Cable Presents podcast. Thank you for tuning into the program once again. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking out the show. You can find fresh episodes coming at you on Tuesdays. And if you want to help support this thing in a free way, you can do so by clicking subscribe on iTunes, clicking write a review, giving the podcast 5 stars if you feel like it is deserving of so. And that will help propel this thing into the tops of those iTunes charts, giving it more visibility on the national and international levels, helping strangers find the podcast, and just a great way to contribute to the growth and sustainability of this thing. Appreciate the hell out of all the folks that have already taken the time to do so. If you're not listening on Apple, just hit like, follow, subscribe wherever you are listening from. Tell a friend about the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch, you're already watching the episodes there, so you know how to do it, but, feel free. Click subscribe. Check out some of the other videos on the channel, some of the performances or the Tuna Boy content. There's a lot going on up there. Hope everybody is doing well out there. This week on the podcast, episode 450. Excited to have Jakki and the Pink Smudge on the podcast in conversation with Jakki Wise, who fronts the band and is the songwriting engine for Jakki and the Pink Smudge. I was really excited to have her on the podcast. I've been listening to Jakki and the Pink Smudge so much this year. I feel like they are just one of the most exciting bands in the city of Portland right now, and her songwriting and lens for things just feels to me like it's very one of one. Jakki and the Pink Smudge just put out a brand new record called Niacinamide, which is out everywhere, wherever you stream music. And there is a bunch of other great music up there as well. Just as a super fun chat with Jakki, and I appreciated getting to dive into her mind a bit and hear where her vision for art and songwriting comes from. Just a big thanks to all the listeners out there. Episode 450 is, it's pretty wild. I've definitely talked about my goal to get this thing to episode 500, and this just feels like another milestone towards that. I'm not really sure what hitting 500 will mean. I guess we'll see when we get there. I don't know if it means it's the end or if it's just another episode with another couple zeros at the end of it. But yeah, I'm really proud as fuck of this thing and the community it has provided me and exposed me to and allowed me to be a part of. It's just a really beautiful thing, and I have some plans to bring back some past guests over these next 50 episodes, as well as bring on some folks that have been on my radar for a long time and haven't been able to get on yet. But yeah, hopefully I just keep producing something that is worthy of y'all to keep tuning into. But so much appreciation for the longtime listeners, or if this is your first time listening, stoked to have you here. Your time spent tuning into these conversations just means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the guests that come on as well. So again, thank you. It's been almost 10 years of doing this thing, and I am definitely feeling sentimental about it, as episode 450 is also the last episode that I will release of my 30s. My 40th birthday is around the corner. It is on Monday, and it's given me a lot to think about and reflect upon, and I think a younger version of me would be very stoked to know what I've spent my 30s, this last decade of my life, doing, and the opportunities that I've gotten. So with all that, that's enough of the sentimental reflection. We're going to get into episode 450 with Jakki and the Pink Smudge. If you're new here and you like Jakki and the Pink Smudge, make sure to not only go and follow them, but if you like this conversation, you can check out some recent-ish episodes with some of Jakki's friends and Annie recently on the show, Amos Hart, and tons of other episodes up covering all genres of music here, and different disciplines of art as well. So thanks again for tuning in. We're kicking off the episode with one of my favorite tracks from the new Smudge record. This is Repeat Brews. Love you all. Now let's do the damn thing.
I keep on banging the same part of my leg. I need to rid of this coffee table, or fix a way that I walk and be more aware. I thought I was being aware. Sharp corners keep on proving they're wrong. I keep banging the same part of my leg.
Oh, no way.
And it rests when you kiss me again. All I do is scoot over. You can find me when you turn. I just do
The craziest thing could ask you, just to hype it up. We keep a lot of tuna around here.
Big tuna guy.
Big tuna guy. It's become a part of my goofy identity somehow.
Oh, yeah, I've seen your sandwich reviews.
Yeah, started reviewing some tuna sandwiches, and now my whole life is different.
Damn.
You
Well,
know?
what's been the undeniably top tier goated?
Man, there's this place called Sandwich on Burnside.
I live right behind Sandwich.
Okay.
And every time I'm like, hey, can I get there? Like, Jakki.
I just I'm a little biased towards that one.
Yeah, it's good.
And Mel who owns it she's so rad.
They're the best.
Just all the sandwiches there are so good.
I know.
And just the real next level tuna sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. Do you get it on the roll or on the sourdough?
I usually get it on the roll, but the tuna melt comes out on the sourdough.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which is also really good.
yeah. How long have you been living in Portland?
Since 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
I came from LA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I went to school up here, so I came on up.
I'm a Southern California guy.
You are? Where are you from?
Corona, Riverside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's great music in Riverside.
Yeah, we used to have this really cool punk club
Mm-hmm.
growing up. It's not there anymore, but it was like the thing that I had to tap in with like culture. It exposed me to like so much shit. It was crazy. And like all of the big Southern California bands would like play there before they like blew up. Like No Doubt would play there, and like Offspring, and
Oh my God.
yeah,
That's
and
so
Blink,
cool.
and
Wow.
AFI, and
Yeah.
it was crazy.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
In a lot of those, like the outskirts of LA, that's where like there's such strong punk influence. I also got into the music scene from punk first, and
Okay.
it's like just such an intense landscape
yeah,
because like just the shows are so intense, and that's where I got into like crowd surfing for the first time, which feels like you're on fire in the best way.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and obviously I make more chilled out music, but I still think about that intensity all the time when I'm creating music that I want to play live. Like, yeah.
yeah. There's definitely like a lot of that punk rock spirit that seems to live in the Jakki and the Pink Smudge music. Like I think it's one of the things that draws me towards it. You know, like it seems like it's this very cool intersection of you know, poppy stuff with like the grit of some punk rock, or it's just like not always super on the nose. There's like something happening. There's like, oh, this is kind of like weird and experimental in some way, but also like has this sweet hook.
I always like to say it's somewhere in between No Doubt and Radiohead, which are like very two big heavy hitters. But, you know, I love the playfulness of No Doubt, and then just like the absolute gut wrenching crying and rolling and shitting your pants on the floor
Yeah.
vibes of Radiohead. Yeah.
But I think you do a good job of not, I've talked about it on this podcast, but I think that sometimes people discover Radiohead and they instantly like fall into this trap of feeling like they have to sabotage all of the good parts of their music by doing something like super fucked up to it.
Right.
And it doesn't like really work for everyone, or
Yeah.
you can like tell that they're like trying to do that specific thing.
No, I totally know what you're talking
And I
about.
feel like you ride that line like really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think a lot about like cutting the fat and like trying to make, if we write a song, we'll write like 7 different versions of it, or I'll come with like 7 different versions of it, of like a chorus and like a B section and a C section, and maybe we'll split the song into 2 or take 2 different songs and bring them together. But we'll write so many different versions of it because I want to take like the cream off the top and have that be the song. And like you just gotta put it all out there and write so many different versions of shit, at least I do, in order to get the cream.
Yeah. Was that always kind of the process with things, or like how did you come to figure out that was like the best way for you to do things?
Well, honestly, I took a lot of influence from songs that are, to me, just like undeniably bangers and timeless, that are just the most simple songs you could ever hear. Like even stuff from I always forget Violent Femmes. Like Violent Femmes have such simple songs.
Yeah.
Or like Heinz. You know Heinz?
Yeah.
I grew up going to Heinz shows. I fucking
Okay.
love Heinz, and it's so simple. But so like the Velvet Underground, CGD for like half
Yeah.
their songs, but it's great, and I don't think that adding more to songs is gonna inherently mean it's some sort of like overcompensation, but I think I like to check myself and make sure if I want to add more to songs, it's not because I'm overcompensating and the foundation isn't there, and making sure that that is there before I further develop.
Yeah. Is it easy for you to like discern when a song is done and when to like not fuck with it anymore, or is it hard for you to get out of your own way sometimes?
I think it's easier for me to determine that whether I have it stuck in my head at the end of the day or like a week later. Like I'll write songs and be like, well, that's not done, but I need to like eat food and like see the light of day. And so then I'll have a return to reality for a moment and then keep listening to it. And I'm like, you know what though? This is actually great. And I don't think it needs anything else. And I think a lot about, what's that guy's name from Geese? The lead singer of Geese. He's a freaking genius. and he has this incredibly off-kilter way of writing songs that people are loving right now, which makes me feel so like grateful that there is like visibility and appreciation for songs that 10 years ago would be like, this is a demo and not in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so good, or I think it's so good, and there's so many like bullshit SoundCloud demos that I've created, like just through my MacBook laptop speaker, and have on SoundCloud that like I love, but I would never put out there. But then you think about like Daniel Johnson, and like, yeah, that's to me, those are great examples of like cutting the fat. It's raw. It's not gonna be bad if it gets further developed, but the foundation is there, and that's what people are tapping into, and that's what it's scratching people good.
Yeah, some
it's
shit just needs to be like raw for it to feel the best. And like you're saying, just like sometimes you're just overcomplicating something that should have remained simple. Yeah. What is it like trying to capture that raw energy of a demo and translate it to like whatever ends up on a record? Like, do you find yourself struggling sometimes, feeling like it's not capturing that same essence?
Yes and no. I think like with our last record, we have one of the singles from it's called Repeat Brews. I wrote that on Bandcamp like 3 years ago, and it's just like 3 simple riffs, and the drums are garage band track drums. I think we added maybe a couple claps in the studio, and our producer Ryan and sound engineer helped. He helped co-produce the album, did some keys on it. It was like a warbler type thing. I'm totally forgetting the question. I can feel it leaving my mind.
Just like the challenges or difficulties of, you know, like keeping that raw energy that you had in the demo. Or
I have saved demos and like videos and in folders, and I'll oftentimes be like, is there something there? And if I think there's something there, I'll bring it to, whether it's a fully fleshed out song or it's just like 15 seconds or just like a little riff, and I'll bring it to the band, and we'll kind of just jam on it for a second. They really help me breathe life into these songs in a way where like I tend to write songs that are a lot more morose and more leaning towards like Daniel Johnson energy, which I love, and to me hits home for me and scratches that itch. But then I also think about my foundation in like coming up in the punk scene, and I want to bring that energy to shows. Like that makes me feel so alive. And so then they kind of really have helped me conjoin those two worlds. And I'm so grateful. And they're also the most wonderful people and musicians. And I'm very grateful to have brought them into this project and take it there and continue to develop it.
How long has it been the current lineup?
The current lineup has been probably 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems very locked in I also just love the 3-piece energy.
Tight little trio we got going.
It's very much in line with that raw punk rock feel to watch a 3-piece just crush.
Oh yeah. I feel like locked in with them now too, because like we really cranked out this album pretty quickly. We know it enough to kind of hear new pockets now, like live and stuff like that, and add those like fun live components. But also we have so many amazingly talented friends, like our friend Eli from Annie, and like he did cello on a bunch of parts of the album, and he's gonna come do that live at some point, and like, you know, stuff like that. So being able to have that, like, again, that foundation of the 3-piece that I feel really confident in, and then being able to add those additional components that I feel like can really stand out and have the space they deserve in order to shine and become very special live.
Did you always feel super comfortable as the front person for a band and being out on stage?
Yes and no. I think I mean, when I started Jakki and the Pink Smudge, I wrote like the first little album I have out, it's called Gingerbread.
Yeah.
I wrote it so simple because I wanted to be able to play it live with my looper pedal and I have like a drum track looper pedal. And yeah, and I just ended up making the best friends ever along the way, and they were like, let me know if you need somebody to fill in, and I was like, okay, sweet. And then slowly we started getting some more, we just started booking more shows and stuff like that, and I would call it a revolving dynamic backing band, and I would just like kind of pick my favorite musicians or like my favorite bands locally and that wanted to like, you know, participate, and each set would be like a little bit different. And it was we even did that in this, like, we did a little tour in Houston where we played this music festival and ended up overstaying our stay, and I have this little chunk of people in Houston that know all the Smudge songs, and that feels so awesome. And I'm really grateful for that time because I feel like it's made me a better leader and person, being able to communicate across multiple musicians.
Yeah.
Musicians got sticks up their ass. They're all so, you know, I fucking get it. So,
Yeah.
and everyone has their own blend. So being able to kind of coordinate that has been really special, both socially and musically. And I really feel like I love that role in my life and with my friends.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to have that as in part of my own practice as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know, dealing with a lot of different people, you have to find different ways to
make it all work.
Yeah. Not everybody responds to the same style
Yeah.
of like direction.
Yeah, totally.
Do you feel like you have developed a style then of like being the band leader, or like what your approach is to it?
Well, yeah. I have something called Smudge Book, which is like a Google sheet, which lives in Smudge Drive.
Okay.
I'm sure you can put the pieces together as where that lives. And it is basically like upcoming shows, upcoming tour dates are like music festival spreadsheet, which is basically like which ones I've applied to, which ones we need to apply to, yada, yada, yada. Everything Smudge lives in Smudge Drive. We have like all of our songs, how to play all of our songs for like if we have a filler and stuff like that. I'm so sorry, what was the question again?
Just like what you feel like your style of like leading a band is.
I think empathy first, in terms of understanding empathy, but also being realistic about what people how they can show up and to what degree, and like having empathy for that, but then also moving forward in an intentional way where it's like, okay, now what now? And making sure that what we put out is the best it can be still. And like if problems arise, that's expected and that's going to happen and that's okay. And just focusing on what can we do now and constantly moving forward while still giving people grace, you know, just not harping on when obstacles arise, you know.
Having realistic expectations.
Yeah, I always say do your best and that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's also like okay to, you know, want your live performance to be the best it can, and there should be like a high bar for that if you are putting so much energy into creating this thing. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's very like the Smudge is like a world for you. Like just even in the way you're like labeling things like in a Smudge Drive.
Oh yeah.
You feel like that's like
it's
an
like
important
hi
part of
Barbie.
it
It's
for
like
you?
hi Smudge. Like everybody is Smudge. If you've been in like before when it was the revolving dynamic backing band, you'd be like, oh, have you smudged before? Which is like, have you been in the band before? But also to come to a show, like, have you smudged before? Have you smudged today? Are you smudging tomorrow?
Yeah.
It can mean a lot of things. Smudge lore.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much opportunity there.
Just a deep Reddit thread.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Smudge lore.
Yeah.
Well, I was very stoked that I got to Smudge for the first time
Me
at your album release show. I'd been wanting to see the band for a while, and it like just hadn't worked out. But I've been listening to your music so much, like ever since I heard that Going Up song, And then the new record, I've just been listening to that like pretty heavy in the rotation.
Sweet. That makes me so stoked.
It's just very fun music.
I'm glad you like it.
And just also has some just great lyrics also to go along with the fun shit happening, you know? Like I like the way that you choose to like reveal your emotions.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was that something you were always pretty comfortable with?
Yeah, I tend to, you know, when you're listening to a music that's already created and then you think of your own lyrics a little bit, it's kind of stuff like that. And then I'm like, or more so I think every now and then I will write like poetry and then look into my archives and then pull that out for certain songs and stuff like that. There's definitely comedic undertone to a lot of my stuff. Oftentimes I'll like journal and then I'll reread it. I'm like, that's funny. And it's like I find myself processing my emotions at the like I don't know what stage of acceptance that is, but like that's my prime stage for songwriting is when I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous, but it's gonna be fine. You just gotta fucking laugh at it.
Yeah.
And that's my go-to, because I feel like in those times that's when you see patterns and that's when you see natural like symbolism, and it's so crazy to me how the most ridiculous forms of symbolism can like show up in your life, and then you can literally just say it and have a freaking beat to it in the background. I would say that I've just always done that, and then having again like the boys come in and make it a bit more spries really helped the layers of comedic undertone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comedic undertone shit is kind of my favorite thing, I think, at this point in my life. You know, someone that like who can like tap into like something super heavy emotionally, but also like have these lines that just like make me laugh and snicker. Like, I'm a big fan of that dude, PD USA. He he just has a lot of lyrics that
Sweet.
are along
I'll
those
check 'em
lines.
out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's you know, if you can make people laugh too while you're doing something that is maybe conveying something heavy or not heavy, you know, it's always a good starting point, I think.
Yeah. I think it breaks the ice a bit.
Has songwriting always felt like the place you could express yourself best?
Honestly, I always thought I was going to be a painter or a visual artist, because I also did sculpture too. I majored in that in college.
Okay.
But I've also always done music, and I think what I've learned is I equally like express myself visually as I do with like music. I got to do that with our music video, which was really fun. I want to create so many more music videos and stuff like that. But what I learned coming out of college was the spaces that I would be in within the visual art world as opposed to the music world, and I just think music can be a bit more accessible. And I was thinking about what my day-to-day would look like if I made it in one route or the other, and I really like, I mean, you know, there's good and bad to both.
Yeah.
But the people I was surrounded by in the music scene, even if I would make it, I felt more connected to, as opposed to these more secluded and restricted and not as accessible areas that the visual art world can be, you know.
Yeah. A lot less collaborative.
Yeah.
But
I want
to make a piece of art probably with somebody else necessarily.
Yeah. No, literally. And like you can, but it's just not as easy to, I think it's just not as accessible to everybody. But I want to be in a place where I can have both in my life, and I always take up way too many projects. Like I was a tattoo artist at one point, and it got to a point where I was like, let me again cut the fat so I can do this one thing really good.
Yeah.
And really work on it to get to a point where I can have the flexibility in order to now tap into these other things and facets that I really love and feel like I can express myself with.
It's hard to do that sometimes, to like zero in on something when you do have a lot of interests.
It can break your heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also having to like have the reality check of like, if you do want something to grow, then like you kind of gotta
lock
put
in
most of your energy into that thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But it seems like with music, you know, there are those opportunities for you to like get to express yourself visually as well, like whether it's like album art or making a music video or making merch.
Yeah,
like is
definitely.
that shirt you brought me, is that something you made?
That's sourced locally by the bins, and it's washed.
Thank you, appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah, I just thrift all of our merch from the bins because it's by the pound, and you know it's most sustainable. And then I screen print it.
Yeah.
That's like a little photo of me from this shoot I did with this really awesome photographer that I should name drop right now, and I can't remember his name, but he's really cool. And I basically like went in the Willamette and took this photo, and I'm like peering out of the green moss, and I totally got sick for like 2 weeks afterwards.
Got
with
that
this
algae,
like
huh?
Yes, which apparently kills dogs.
That shit's crazy.
Thank God I'm not a dog. And I was like really sick, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah.
Because that is on our stickers, it's on our merch. Yeah. It was our icon for a long. It's on my body. That's literally that.
That's amazing.
It's my only tattoo. It's my own face. So, go mini. Yeah, but
is there are there things that you feel like you can express very differently, working on visual art versus making music?
Yeah, I mean, I think context is so important both with music and visual art. Like with music, I think music videos go such a long way. Addison Rae, I'm not going to get into the socially charged concept of Addison Rae right now, but she did speak recently about how like every song from her album has a music video.
Yeah.
And I really agreed with that because because of how her background and how like socially charged she is, there is so much context to her as an individual that these songs could really be tied to so many different things that she didn't have control over. And you can't really have control on how your art is received always, but I think creating music videos and creating these own worlds for your music really can help guide the viewer as to like where you were coming from, and then they can always take it from there. And then with visual art, I feel like there is, yes, depending on where it is, whether it's like a mural in like a public space or if it's an uppity gallery or the freaking Guggenheim.
Yeah.
That is context, and whether you have somebody yapping in your ear about it. But I think there is more opportunity to use your own mind more commonly with visual art, or at least the type of art that I tend to create, because it's you can just look at it and then take it from there. You can't really, or I've always been advised to be ultra specific in like how I describe my art, because it's like you just can't always be there to tell somebody what it's about. So you just got to let them take it from there. Yeah.
Is it, when you're writing songs, do you always feel like you can see some sort of visual in your head?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm thinking a lot of, I always think of music videos to every single song. I think it just kind of happens organically. And then I'll lose it. It's like when you wake up from the coolest dream ever and you're like, don't go away. Let me sleep. Keep sleeping. Go back to this world. And so like that's what happened with Repeat Brews. I written like 3 different music videos for it. And then I had to really cut the fat and think about like what would actually look like that. In the same way, like in a dream, you're like, yeah, I was flying inside of a whale, and you're like, what does that even mean or look like? So I had to kind of strap down a bit and be like, what actually happens in this world with the concept of gravity and such, you know. So I always forget the question. I have really bad ADHD, dude. I'm so like,
It's perfect.
I know I'm like adjacent.
No,
to
you're
the-
doing great.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was just you know, about the being able to like see some visual or like
Oh yeah,
for
a very
the
visual
songs.
person,
Yeah.
definitely.
I like the idea of a tattoo of flying inside of a whale.
Right?
Well,
I don't know where that
that's
came
a good
from.
tattoo.
Maybe a dream. Maybe it's our next music video.
You
and
just have a lot of
I'm
voice
just dropping
memos of
hints.
you
Yeah.
talking about like what this music video is going
Yeah.
to be.
So there's this whale, and you're inside of it. No gravity in whales.
What were you doing musically before you started Jakki and the Pink Smudge?
Okay, so I got my guitar from this pawn shop when I was like 7, and it was like so huge. Actually, no, sorry, that's not true. I was 11 because
Okay.
before that, I had a mini red Stratocaster like Drake Bell
Okay.
when I was 7.
I kind of like the idea of you like walking into a pawn shop as a 7-year-old.
Oh,
though,
yeah,
you
I
know,
was
and
like-
like haggling for
Yeah,
your
yeah,
own
I'm like-
guitar.
$250. Yeah. And I'm one of those suckers. Yeah. So I had that. It was tiny, and then we got the red Stratocaster. I don't remember where we got that, but
It was just around.
I think a family friend actually might have given it to us as like it was their kids at some point. But then we got my guitar at a pawn shop. I like found it online specifically. I was just like Googled like guitar on like my sister's one of those like box Apple computers. And I was just like looking through everything and going through wormholes on Wikipedia, and I found this thing called a Luke guitar.
Okay.
And it's like an Ernie Ball. It's like a remake of this guitar that was made in like the 90s, but it's like a 2000 like 10 remake or something like that. It's sparkly, it's blue. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more turquoise when because the photo online, I always remember this, and I remember getting there and being like, that's not the color I wanted. But now I love the color. Yeah. Okay, let's see. The question, gun to my head, I don't know what the question was.
Just if like what you were doing musically.
What was I doing?
Before Jakki and the Pink Smudge, but also yeah, like your entry point
Yeah.
into playing music.
I
Like,
I did guitar lessons for like 3 years when I was younger, and then my parents just kind of like forgot that I was doing that. So then I stopped, but then I kept learning on YouTube. And
Okay.
I always tell this to people who want to learn guitar and don't have it in them to like start up with music theory right now, is just like find songs that you love and can't get out of your head and want to play so fucking bad, and then just learn those chords and then keep going, and eventually you'll have your own little repertoire
Yeah.
and figure it out. I never learned music theory. I know it to an extent in the sense where like I can hear it because I learned off of YouTube. But yeah, then I would always just, you know, my go-to was like before bed, I would always sleep with my guitar, and then I would always just like come up with songs and stuff like that. And then I also have this mini travel guitar that looks like a really elongated ukulele type of thing, and I would keep that in my car, and I would always, whenever I'd go places, I'd have that. And then me and my best friend in high school would go to our local guitar center in the acoustic room where they had, as so many people have, and where they had like the mic set up, and it
Yeah.
was my first time singing to a mic, and I would never sing for anybody. And my best friend from high school, her name's Sunena, and she totally was just like forced me to sing and not be such a pussy about it. And I thank her every day for it.
So what was your first time playing music in front of people?
Ooh, okay. Probably, let's see. I would say my freshman year of college. So I was 18. And I had wrote this tiny little EP called I Can Believe It's Not Butter. And it lives on on Bandcamp.
Yes.
Still up there. And super emo because my first college boyfriend cheated on me, and I was like, ah. And he was my next door neighbor, so I was just like emotionally writing this whole album with like my little microphone that I got from the IT room against my little tiny Fender amp, and everyone was constantly in my room, so I was like, fuck it, let's just keep it on. And so you can hear like talking in the background, and I really like it, like kind of works. And I just kind of sunk into it or like leaned into it. And yeah, I wrote this little thing. It was super simple with this that I wrote with my drum track. And then there was a house show, and I played it in a garage, and everyone was talking and like through it. And it was great. It was fun. And I didn't give a fuck. It was just like kind of cool to do that first. It was really scary. And I was like, what am I doing here? Doing this right now. It kind of felt very surreal, but I just kind of kept doing. Oh, then I started hosting open mics. I forgot, at my house at the time.
Okay.
And that was practice. I just was like, why not? And I would go to this co-op at my college. I would go to the co-op in the middle of the night, and because I would work there, and they had a little mic set up, and I'd go and do that, and just to get practice and not be so sheepish about it.
Yeah, that's when you got like pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Playing in front of people.
Definitely.
And then you had all that time when you were just playing solo with the looping pedal.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I only had about 3 shows alone. Maybe 2 shows and a bunch of open mics. And then there's like this end of the year concert at Lewis and Clark, and they were like, do you want to play? And I was like, sweet. And I put together a band of people within 3 days, and we just grinded it out. And it was really fun. And then I posted about that, and then met this other really cool guy who lives in Houston, and they flew us out to do this music festival with Mavi, if you know Mavi, who's the fucking sweetest man in the whole world. And I met like so many amazing musicians there, and this was just like one of those random things through Instagram that worked out, and it kind of just like took off and really helped me not be so afraid to make friends and accept help, and not assume that, or just assume that some people actually just want to hang out and make music with you, and there's no hidden agenda and stuff like that. They just want to hang.
but that whole first record you made by yourself? Mm-hmm. And did you I don't know, did you pick up on things like GarageBand like pretty early
I've been
on?
doing GarageBand since I was since I was able to have access to a computer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good. But yeah, I've always poked
You're
around.
getting your reps in, so you like knew how to like
navigate
it pretty well by the time you were making that first record.
Everyone hates on GarageBand, but I think it has everything you need to make something cool. And even if you're like I would always take like the vocal filters it has and use it on my guitar and vice versa and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways to do the stuff you can do on really awesome but more expensive softwares for recording, and you just kind of have to figure it out how to do it and like cheat it in GarageBand. But it's fun. It's kind of fun to figure those things out too.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully how you like maybe make something unique too, when you're just like fucking around with that type of stuff, and you're like using things in a way that they're not meant to be used necessarily.
That's actually what Repeat Brews was. I would kind of do this thing where like I would pick, I haven't done this in a while, but I've been meaning to. I would just like pick an artist that I love and I love their style, and then think about like the consistency they have in their music writing, and then try and write that style of a song like as a practice, and just like figure out what they're doing. Like Still Woozy has like, it's not math, but it's more so like in algebra, you know how you use like XYZ, yada, yada, yada. It's kind of like finding those patterns. And I have this like written visualized structure to like most Still Woozy songs. He kind of has it down to a science. I have it in like a notebook somewhere. And so I do stuff like that. And that's really helped me also understand like approaching it from, just like from the heart, no approach at all type approach, as well as a more analytical, what's popular right now, what is gonna hit no matter what has a catchy beat and stuff like that.
I think that's also like what I love about the music, like something like Repeat Bruce, where it's just like there's not a lot lyrically happening in the song. It's just like a great beat and a great like few words that make up a hook, you know. And it's beautiful because of that, you know. And it feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like calculated in a gross way, but it's like it's cool. It's cool to like hear that, you know, there is some like analytics happening in your brain about that, or like, I don't know, is that like something where you're trimming even a lot of lyrics from the thing to like see what actually should remain in that final version?
Definitely. There was like 2 other verses that I cut out just because they weren't as good, and then there's that like repeating phrase that I keep banging the same. And I just thought that sounds really good as is, and there's so many, and it's a lot of like, why not? Like, why I don't have to have a song with, not every song of mine has to have a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, yada, yada, yada. And just going back down to like, do I like it? And if I like it, that's good enough, but also somebody else might like it too.
Yeah. The song can be catchy without all of that stuff happening.
Yeah. There's a lot of like, I think a lot about this concept of the most unique and insanely groundbreaking art and music can be created from somebody who's like never done a practice before, and somebody has overly developed their practice so much they've turned the corner, and being able to dissect it so much that they can create something so similar. Yeah. It's just completely 2 different approaches. And I always find that really fascinating.
You feel like you're trying to like ride somewhere in the middle of
somewhere
that?
In the middle. Yeah. I think keeping both aware, and not get too stuck up on, like, I like to be aware of all of these concepts and narratives without trying to force myself to fit into one just because it sounds like one specific type of genius, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's like you can also create your own type of genius and still appreciate all these other things, and they can help you understand yourself just by helping to kind of understand where they're coming from too.
What do you like about songs that are short in length? You know, it feels like things within the smudge world, you know, like often fall under 3 minutes.
Our 19-minute album.
A lot of time, like 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you like about that?
I mean, I also grew up listening to Frankie Cosmos, who I love so much. I think she's so cool. And I love a short and sweet song. I know there's so many short and sweet songs I listen to that I'm like, that's it? Can you please create more? But again, like returning to that, cut the fat, skimming the cream off the top of the milk. Like in majoring in art, like a lot of my art teachers told me, again, like you can't be there to explain. Don't over explain your work. Be as specific as possible. Like you don't need to, as much as you want to include everybody and make sure everybody knows they're included, you are writing a way to express yourself and your experience. And I think if you fear those ultra specific details, you end up risking like a really potent piece of work. And so just not being afraid to be ultra specific in that way. I don't remember the question, but I think I answered it. Take a shot every time. I forget the question.
You did. I think you answered it. It was, you know, just about keeping songs like short and
Short
not
and
like
sweet.
feeling
Oh,
the
yeah.
need to like have another
Yeah.
verse or
I think exploring it and double checking you're not stopping short because you're afraid is important. But then also not prolonging it because you are like assuming you're doing this particular thing.
yeah.
I think just sitting back and noticing and having that sort of self-awareness of yourself as an artist and your practice, I think is just a really important or just really beneficial way to grow as a human being and as an artist.
Yeah, I think I also just, not being afraid in the opposite direction to be like, I'm afraid that a minute 55 isn't enough, and then you're just like throwing another verse in there just because you felt like the song needed to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a time of like listening to music where there would be like some of those shorter songs or like a song that only gives you the chorus one time and you're just like, fuck man, like
Yeah.
I really wanted that again.
Yeah.
But then now I think I love being left with that desire for more. Mm-hmm. It's no longer like a negative thing to me. It's just like, oh, I think actually you did the thing like really fucking good then, because
Executed it.
now I like just want to either like listen to this song again or like,
exactly.
I want to hear more. And yeah, it makes it like pretty easy when you make like a 20-minute record to like want to just like fucking
Wrap
play
it around.
maybe a second or third time.
Yeah. I mean, I love those songs that you just want to go back and listen again. Like, Night Shift by Lucy Dacus.
Yeah.
So the amount of times I've like gone back and listen, because that song is like an A and A, B, and C section, I think. So yeah, I've gone back and been like, I'm really feeling this slow part of this song today, or I'm really feeling this really intense part of the song today, and repeat one of those. There's also like the reason there's like a verse and a chorus is so you can have that differentiation, and like the build up to the chorus is what's there. If it was the chorus the whole time, the chorus wouldn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Or I mean, if it was the verse the whole, you know what I mean. It made sense, just not much. Just a little bit. It was super close.
I go to work, I pay my dues. I don't go here, I report crime. I go to sleep with my I go out, I keep track. Say no to Greg, I keep friends. I find my dividends.
So making this new record, is it
Niacinamide.
All right. That was
You got it.
I got scared to say it out loud. I'm not gonna lie. I've been avoiding saying that word. I'm
You
just
killed
like,
it. First
how
try.
do you say this? Also, what does that mean?
It is a facial serum.
Okay.
It's also, I realized, it's also in Cheez-Its.
Okay.
I was eating some Cheez-Its yesterday. Noticed it's in
Yeah.
the ingredients. Don't know what that's
Some of that shit.
gonna
that,
do to me later.
it's
But
some of that shit that RFK is trying to remove.
no,
from
100%. 100%.
niacinamide.
Yeah. But it's, the brand The Ordinary? They do like hyaluronic acid and salicylic acid.
Okay.
It's just like a facial serum brand, and I was doing my skincare, and I wrote the majority of these songs when I was getting over like a breakup and just kind of going through a shift in my life, and I had so many things to do, and I think I was struggling to figure out how I wanted to do it when I was like refiguring out myself a bit, and so in order to like avoid, so we have this one song called Niacinamide. That's what the album is named after, and the lyrics are like, I go to work, I pay my dues, I don't call you, and I report crime. And that's basically me being like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now. How can I still like keep my morals? And it's just like, okay, I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna report crime. Like, I'm gonna be a good person. I'm not gonna call you. And then I go to sleep with niacinamide. It's like I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah.
and I'm doing it in like the most simplest way possible. I like stuff where I feel like it's arguably good and okay, and at a time where I just felt so dissociative and distant from myself and didn't know up from down. I was just trying to pay my dues and go to bed and wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's basically what the song is about. It's just like, I mean, the album is just going through the motions and trying to still maintain myself at the same time.
And you feel like all the songs kind of like touch on those themes in some way, or like belong together in that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's each song is very like self-reflective on like whatever I was going through or whatever state I was in, and I think I'm amidst the ebbs and flows. I'm always trying to just make sure I'm somehow taking care of myself, and whether that be something so simple as like, I'm just gonna put this little face serum on and maybe it's gonna fix all my problems.
Yeah. Was it hard making this record versus the first one, since you kind of did that solo and opening it up to a band and other players and having maybe a producer in the room? Was it challenging to you in any way, or did you just feel like really fucking exciting that you got to make a record with people?
Both. I think, you know, with my first one, it was just me sitting down. It was during COVID. It was a COVID album. I was just sitting and grinding it out for like 2 weeks. And that was really exciting, and I got to make every decision, and I still get to make most of the decisions on our current album that just came out. It was more so every song on the album started with me having the song written out for my part and then bringing it to the band, and then we would kind of add tweaks or maybe like take some things out or and re-invite them back in a new way. And Oliver's writing a ripping bass line and Charlie's spazzing out on the drums and it sounds like gold and so forth. But then also there's one song on the album that where me and Charlie were just jamming, and it's called Comes Out Right, and that's how that came about. A lot of these like we kind of just jammed through, but basically we got, my friend Ryan works at Flora Studios. He works with Tucker something, I forget
Martine.
Tucker Martine,
Yep.
who's an insanely talented individual.
Absolutely.
And this was the most amazing, it's the most amazing studio. If you've been there, you should go see it. If you just DM him, I'm sure he'd say, come on down.
Come on down.
Such a cool
Anybody
spot.
just go ahead and do that right now.
Nope.
Let's flood Tucker
Let's
Martine's
just go.
inbox. You know?
But it used to be like this biker headquarters basically, and
Okay.
there's this like huge clown mural in like the basement in their like acoustic room that like used to be their symbol, and it's a really, really cool space. So like sometimes these just throw shows in their back area there, but it's just a awesome studio, and the equipment there is so beautiful. And my friend Tucker went out of town for a couple weeks, and my friend Ryan, who works there, was allowed to record there, and so he let us record the album, and we got a date down, and then we had about a month before that, and I was like, all right, Charlie and Oliver, let's put these songs together. And so then I had my big yellow notebook and we were writing down all the key parts to each song, and teaching them all. I wrote everything in Smudge book and making sure they were practicing on their own, and we kind of just like put these semi-finished songs together into completion within a month.
Yeah.
And then making sure everybody was listening to it on their own and hearing any ways that we could advance it in the studio. And we just got there and grinded it out for like, it was 10 days. So they were all there for about 6 of them, and then me and Ryan kind of just sat there for the last 4 and did all the vocals and really went through the billions of pedals he has and trying to figure out the right combinations of each. And yeah, Ryan just knows how every single item works in that studio, and enlightened me on a lot, and it was really awesome.
It's cool that you can go into like a super nice studio like that
God, it was the
and
coolest thing in my
still maintain some of that raw energy that we talked about.
Yeah.
You know?
That was a really fun
And not
experience.
like have it lost in translation somehow.
Yeah.
Did you keep any of like your demo vocals that made the record?
I mean, Repeat Brews was barely touched.
Okay.
Round Clown and Comes Out Right, we actually recorded in a friend's basement originally, and then we like took them back to the studio and kind of just like cleaned it up a bit, and like remastered it and remixed it a little bit. And then the rest of them were, it was just wild to have a completely different setup than my first.
Yeah.
It was just a complete level up, and it was really fun, and it just felt like a once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to do that. There was this one guitar I was playing on, and like I did it for Niacinamide. It's like this really old acoustic guitar, and then I finished, and Ryan was like, "Yeah, that used to be like Elvis's." I was like, "Oh, sweet." Like, what if I broke it? It just freaked me out so much. But yeah, there was just like so much historical, awesome equipment there. It was the biggest privilege of my life to be able to touch it and be in the same room as it, let alone record there.
Was it hard for you to turn it on at all, like in moments in the studio of like having to go record vocal takes or anything, or did it all feel like pretty good and natural, like you didn't need too much magic to happen to capture that energy?
Honestly, I get nervous and I get stressed, but when it comes to like locking in, I'm definitely someone who's like, let's do it. Like, what do you need to do that too?
Yeah.
I, not to sound like a, like I have no problems, but like, I definitely like showed up and was like, let's record an album. I'm so excited to do this. I wanted to do this for so long.
Yeah.
It was such like, we were going to put the album out a year before because we had a different set of songs, and then we were going through some changes with our band and stuff like that, and also in our lives, and it just didn't happen, and it was just such a long time coming. And then also waiting like another 6 months to put out the album after we grinded, and that was like our life for like 2 weeks. I love to just go in and lock in. My brain just switches a bit.
Do you think it was helpful also to kind of have that, you talked about that month that you had knowing that you were going to go in. Do you think it was helpful to know that you only had a month to like figure shit out in some way with the band? Like that time constraint was a good thing? I
think so. It's really easy to put other things ahead of your hopes and dreams. If you got shit going on and everybody has shit going on. And for me, it was kind of an excuse to just say nothing else matters and just get this out, and do it for myself too. And just to know that like I could do this, and it's not just this idea that's been pushed so far ahead that it's like only a dream now.
Yeah.
So it felt really amazing to just like knock it out.
Did some of those like loose singles come from the album you thought you were going to make? Like things like Going Up?
Yep. Yeah. Going Up was going to be the title track actually.
Okay.
And then we were going to release Repeat Brews. I guess we did release Repeat Brews as a single. We just had to have the whole album recorded in order to do that, because you have to, I wanted it all to have the same image.
Yeah.
And so I was just sick of waiting, and I was like, the music we have out right now, as much as I love it and it represents a very wholesome time that I cherish in Smudge lore, it doesn't represent, I think, what we can be in the directions that we are going in, and are going to continue to build off of. I want this to be archival. I want there to be like, you can see where we're coming from with growth with each release. And I was like, I just want to have stuff out. We're meeting amazing people, and I want to guide them to where they can listen to our music and feel proud about that, and not be like, yeah, here it is, while feeling really proud about what we are actually creating, but didn't necessarily have out at the time.
Yeah.
Which is a very like frustrating feeling where it's like, I feel really confident about us as a band and what we're creating, but you need stuff out there to prove that if you're going to stand on your business like that, you know?
For sure. Yeah. I'm sure it's like, yeah, nice to have some other things to represent like where the sound is heading and like how different it is from maybe like that Precious track.
Oh, yeah.
know? Which I also love. Like,
I wrote
love
that in like 30 minutes.
Dude, that's like a fun song to like put in, you know, like a DJ set, you know?
Thank you. That was also like a practice song that like I had already written Gingerbread and it was set to come out in like a month, and then I was like, is this the first thing I want to release? And then I just was doing like a little, like thinking a lot about like I love like 60s soul music so much. Oh my god, it's just the most like undeniably gut-wrenching. I'm taking my heart and I'm slamming it on the table and I'm smearing it all over the place. Like I just love that type of music, and I didn't create anything like that, and I was like, why is that? Can I do that? Do I have it in me to create something like that, or my own version of that, or my own like approach? And so that was like my own like a little practice session I did, and the bass line is GarageBand.
Hell yeah.
Like I say I wrote that in 20 minutes because I was pulling stuff from GarageBand.
Yeah.
And I had like this mic I stole from the IT room at my college, and they didn't ask for it back, thank God. But yeah, and then it's like one of our most listened to songs.
Yeah, I think you
weird.
kind of nailed that, like bringing in some of that like 60s soul
Thank you.
feel and aesthetic, you know, even on some of the more recent stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Like it's a really cool like take on that stuff to mash it up with some of that like gritty punk feel.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to call our genre indie punk funk.
Yeah.
This felt good coming out the mouth. But I think, you know, like the indie genre is this gargantuous umbrella term, so it's
Yeah.
I just say indie now, but you know, depends.
Yeah, it's even though that stuff is, you know, maybe so different from where it's at now, it all feels like it like lives in the same world, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because it's like your voice and like your take on things, but I think that's like a very cool thing. Like if you've created something like that it like uniquely feels like it's, no, this is Jakki and the Pink Smudge.
Oh yeah.
You know?
This is Smudge, dude. You just got Smudge.
The Smudge. You wanna
This
get
is the
smudged.
Smudge experience.
You're precious, but so is my time. It's getting harder, don't wanna keep you on my mind.
Apparently now you can make babies from women's bone marrow, so you don't even need the men anymore.
Not cool, stop acting such a fool. Baby's on my line, but now we just don't feel right.
There's a couple things I want to know about the live show.
Yeah.
Nobody loves me like
Where did this tradition start of you getting up on someone's shoulders? And-
Really a pipe dream.
Okay. Yeah.
That just, I mean,
I was honestly, I saw a video of this
Yeah.
prior to being at your album release show, and I was like, fuck, man, how did I miss that show? I
Oh,
did
yeah.
not know that it was like a thing.
Oh, it's a
so I
thing.
was very stoked that I got to experience that.
yeah. Before I get into the lore of it, at the album release show, I was like gonna make a joke about like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Do you remember this? And then I was like, do you guys know what we're doing next? And thinking after I said the beginning of that song, they were gonna go shoulders, knees, and toes, and I just go head, and everyone thought the new thing we were gonna do was head. It was so horrible. I was like, fuck. I mean, it was a funny joke. I just didn't know I was
Yeah.
making it. But actually, I can't even. Let me think. The first Okay, no, I do remember it. We played Wow Hall. It was
In Eugene?
in Eugene.
Okay.
And we were opening for Never Ending Fall. They are a band on TikTok that got famous for, I mean, they're great and the sweetest people ever, but they started doing Kirkland out like vodka reviews.
Okay.
And I think it was like, can it Kirkland? Anyways, we opened for them in Wow Hall. And I think this was the first show. But I was just thinking a lot about like, I want to put on a production. I want to put on an experience. I love watching concerts. Like instead of TV, I'll just like put on like a Cage the Elephant like arena show or
Okay.
like an old one too.
Yeah.
And they're, oh my God. I love watching like performers that are just meant to be doing that. And thinking a lot about, that's also a way to kind of insert some comedy and cut the shit and allow people to kind of be more present. And, you know, when you're laughing, you're just like, you're not thinking about yourself. You're just, this is funny, haha. And that's that.
Welcome to the circus.
Welcome to the smudge kiss. Yeah. And so yeah, I think my friend Nick, who I have gone on his shoulders a million times and will probably continue to do so, was shoulders that time. We usually just call them shoulders, whoever it is. And he was just rocking with it, and I just got up there and played a song, and the song has changed a couple times on which ones we do. Currently it's Hue Glue, which is a song about falling in love with a kid that eats glue.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just did that, and then I was thinking a lot about choreography and the talking heads and how they run in place, and just stupid stuff like that feels so awesome. It's not stupid. I don't know if it's stupid, but it's just so like simple. But
Yeah.
It feels like when you can see that they're having fun, like when people on stage are having fun, that elicits like, it feels like you're being granted access to that fun, and you can let yourself go there a bit. You're being invited into this mindset and this space, and that's really what I want to do. I want it to be a smudge show. I want it to be a full production. And then also our old guitarist Caleb is just like a huge Nordic man and can play guitar at the same time while I was on his shoulders. So we did that for a while,
Yeah.
which was really fun. And now we're just rocking the 3-piece, and I usually go on my partner Blue's shoulders, but if Blue's not there, we got Nick, we got my friend, a lot of large individuals out there that can rock with you.
Do you think it's more nerve-wracking for the person holding that is
100%.
playing shoulders versus you?
Yes, because
Like, have you had much anxiety while you're
we practice a
there?
lot.
Okay.
Like, there's not been a show where the person, actually, no, that's a lie. There's been a few shows where the person has not done it yet. But I would say the first like year of doing it, if somebody was going to be shoulders, I would make sure it was planned out beforehand, get up there with my guitar for like at least 5 minutes, even
Yeah.
though it was only like a 2-minute song for a while.
practice? You gotta
Practice, make sure they
endurance.
could do it, because I don't want them getting up there and be like, I'm gonna drop you and I'm nervous and I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to put somebody in that position on stage. That's
Yeah.
like so nerve-wracking, and you're like holding, I don't want them to feel bad if they drop me, because shit fucking happens. And,
Yeah.
so, you know, I haven't had the need to do it with anybody new in a long time, and
Okay.
the people that we have done it new were very confident, and I trusted them. Yeah.
It was both wonderful to see, and then I also could not help but have my own anxiety
Yes.
about like what happens if this doesn't go well. But also, like, I was just kind of, I couldn't stop watching Blue and couldn't like figure out if Blue was, you know, there was moments where Blue would close his eyes, and I was like, is he okay?
He's okay. It's hard
know?
to know what to do with your face, is
And-
the feedback I've received.
And then I would see sometimes he would be like, yeah, you know, leaning into it, and I was like, cool, but also just like slightly anxious, you know. I was just like, this is crazy,
because
but
they don't want to drop you, but it's also they can't dance at the
Yeah.
same time because I'm like trying to get to the mic, and so Blue, honestly, really proud of Blue. He really pulled it together because usually he's like dancing, and I'm like trying to like find the mic, and there was this one show we did at Show Bar, and the mic stand wasn't tall enough,
yeah,
and so he was holding the mic, and I'm like, and it was like eerily phallic too, and I was like, I don't want to do this right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but show must go on,
Yeah.
and like, you know, yeah, that's one of those push through things.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's a very fun thing to include in the show, and like just also just see how far that microphone can extend.
Yeah,
Also, it's just
yeah.
like,
you'd be
hey,
surprised.
you really got to shoot that thing up there to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that was not just a one-off experience,
no.
you know, that I missed. So I definitely encourage people to go experience this
High
shoulders
heights.
action, you know.
Oh yeah.
Also, there's like maybe a few moments in the set where you're not strapped in on the guitar and that you get to like just kind of be on stage with the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Do those moments feel different for you? Like, are you free in a different way?
I have to practice that in my room alone because I am not used to that. And for when we rocked the trio set, I'm not doing that. It was mainly like, I can't play repeat brews on guitar and sing at the same time. It feels like I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's so hard. One day I'll get there. But yeah, so I hadn't done that in a really long time. That's something that does not come as natural to me that I want to work on. And I think it's a bit, I feel like when I have my guitar, I feel so much more free going willy-nilly on the stage because there's something to hide behind.
Yeah.
And I feel really comfortable on stage. Like, I tend to not get stage fright until like 2 minutes before, and then I get on stage and I'm rocking with you. But when it's just like having a cup in your hand or like a drink in your hand when you're at a bar, you know, just like that illusion of protection or something to do with, maybe it's my ADHD.
Yeah.
I need to do something at the same time, but I'm getting there. I mean, I love, some of my favorite performers are just vocalists, so that's something I definitely have every intention of tapping into and finding my own practice there.
Do you feel like your songwriting, like approach to songwriting, has changed much since you started this, or does it like feel relatively like kind of the same way you've always done things?
Yes and no. I think it has, in the sense where if I'm like, I do want to create some absolutely ripping right now, I know that I have the means to with Oliver and Charlie. But then also I have found that these songs that have the most like absolutely intense ripping vibes to them also have like a really raw foundation to them, like lyric wise. And so I try and remind myself, like, it's okay to go back to that foundation I have and then go from there, instead of trying to jump and creating something just because of what the end product would look like for other people.
Yeah.
You know, and making sure it's still trying to find that balance between not holding myself back from growing and also developing my actual practice and
Yeah.
not just this overarching pop culture practice.
Well, you're fucking killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love your band. I
Thank
love
you so
your
much.
songwriting, and like it just it feels like it's very much its own thing, but also like taps into a bunch of shit that I really like. Like, you're like vocally, I'm a big Tegan and Sarah fan,
Oh, sweet.
and I feel like your voice really like matches that at times. I don't know if you're very familiar.
Not super, but I've heard like one or two songs.
But yeah, I'm gonna send you some songs.
I would love
and
that. Please.
I feel like that's like one of the reasons I really love your voice, and it just seems like you have a lot of dynamic to what you do, but also just appreciate your approach and mentality of being so good at trimming fat and keeping things like simple and fun.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Great job, Jakki. You're
Thank
just
you.
doing a great job,
Stop.
and just been listening to your music so much. So
I appreciate
I will put all the links in the episode notes so people can keep up with what you're doing. I want to play the episode out with Closed Off.
I would love that.
First
Sounds
track
great.
on the record.
Oh, yeah.
What made you want to, like, what felt like this was a good opening to the record to you?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I mean, it was one of the first songs that Going Up was going to be the first song, and then this was going to be the one after it. It kind of has that same upbeatness that Going Up has, but there is a lot more gentle dynamic that I feel like leads into the rest of the album more intentionally. There's also that natural build up where it's just starting with one line. It's my guitar ring, and I love that there's just like it feels like steps 2, 3, like walking you into the song, walking you into the album, and then it ends with, it's a fade out, but it has Eli on cello, and the next song has cello, and it's a bit of a slower vibe. It's kind of almost like a really more chill Tame Impala not Maria's, what's that band that is so amazing? No one noticed. Come on, whatever they're called. No, I think it is the Marias.
I think you're right.
It's the Marias. Yeah, there's something in between there. I was thinking a lot about them at that period of time of writing it, and I just felt like that flowed really naturally.
Yeah.
But again, specifically just those, it literally feels like it's walking you into the album dynamically.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Jakki, we end every episode of the podcast with the guest saying the tagline for the show, which is "It's a program."
Okay.
It means absolutely nothing. My grandfather just says the word program when he says it. He says program.
Mm-hmm.
So it means nothing. It's just kind of like a goofy way to end the show. So you can deliver it however you would like. If we can get the Jakki and the Pink Smudge,
Yeah.
It's a program. It's the one time I'll ask you to look into this camera here. It's
hi.
Yep, we got this guy right here. This is your big. This is the big performance part of this thing, Jakki.
Okay.
Just a strong. It's a program. However you want to do it.
Well, am I saying smudge too, or just
You can
it's a
say
program?
whatever you want, but it's a program is the most important part of it.
Jakki and the Pink Smudge, cutting the fat from day one. It's a program.
She nailed it, everybody. That's Jakki. Jakki and the Pink Smudge is the band, and we're playing it out with Closed Off from that brand new record, Niacinamide.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Killed
that
it.
right? Did I
Killed
do-
it.
All right, sweet. It wasn't so scary after all. I'm still nervous about pronouncing that one, but
Boo.
we're gonna get it. Lots of other music to check out if you're new to the band. Links will be in the episode notes. That is the Jelly Jams, and we will catch you on the flip side, Portland or wherever you are listening from. We did it. We did it.